happiness and sadness are same things. And all falseness starts from our understanding about our own self. And therefore Upanishads come to tell us that try to get out of this kind of sadness by understanding the nature of your own I. First mantra was the Aishnatraya Tyagi's mantra, who has left 3 Aishna. Second mantra was the one who cannot leave it but who is in the process of leaving it. He is Karma Yogi. Third mantra is Anatma Ninda, to praise the knowledge of the self. The samsara has been censored. Although body is drishyam, but not drishyam like the flower. Drishyam in the flower is different, and drishyam of the body is the body has feeling, I feel the body or I feel the mind, and the body is sajiv. Some kind of knowledge in it is there. Mind also is seen, because you know that my mind is today happy or unhappy. You are aware of that mind. So mind is also drishyam. But that means this body and the world, they don't have their own light. Because anything which is drishyam does not have chetanta. They are not self-effulgent. Body is known. Mind is known. If body was self-effulgent, you wouldn't have slept. There is something else other than the body and mind which is giving light to the body and mind. And that is called consciousness. So shifting the attention from the world, from the mind, from the body, to the unchanging principle called self, that is the first step of Vedanta. This is called Drishya and Drishta Vivek. Four to 8 mantras are called Atma Swarup Pratipadikaha mantra. So they are going to propound what is the nature of this seer. So in this 4th mantra, 4 points have been mentioned. Point number 1, it is said, Manaso Javiyah, it is faster than the mind. That means wherever mind goes, there this consciousness already is there. The limitation of Atma being absent in time and space is not there. Atma is everywhere and at all place and at all time. That means limitation, here it is there it is not there, that is not there. Any time or any place or any object cannot be there without existence in it. And therefore, wherever there is existence, the Atma is already there, and therefore Atma is pervading all time and all place and all object. And wherever existence is there, consciousness will be there. Because existence cannot be different than the consciousness. When I say I am existing and I say this book is existing, both existence are not different. Existence in self and existence in the book are not two existences. If there will be two existences, then one existence will be non-existent in another existence. So Atma is already everywhere. But I feel I am inside the body. That is because of your ignorance. If Atma was inside the body, then you cannot experience yourself without body. But in the deep sleep and dream, you don't have any experience of the body, but you have the experience of the self. So sarvvyapakatvat, this is the first point. nainad deva apnuvan. Devatas or the sense organ cannot catch, it is faster than the sense organ. Wherever sense organ has gone, this is already gone. Supposing I saw the sun, in the sun already Atma is there. Anything cannot see its source. What can be objectified will be limited thing. Infinite cannot be objectified. I am talking and the speech is there. And there is a seer of the speech. The speech will come and go, but speech yato vacho nivartante prapmi manasasa. Speech cannot objectify that self. Because anything which can be talked about will be jati or roop or kriya, sambandh, etc. So, bole beta Atma cannot be objectified, how will I know? By that only you are knowing everything. You cannot know the Atma through the instrument. Torchlight cannot illuminate the battery. Eyes cannot see the mind. Mind cannot see the self. Drishya cannot be the seer of the drishta. This is the second point. This is called aprameyatvat. Ekam means eti iti, that which goes in all. Only with the condition of my mind body, your mind body, it is appearing as different. Supposing my consciousness and your consciousness are two. What will be the problem? My consciousness will be seen of your consciousness and your consciousness will be seen of my consciousness. Because yad drishyam tad jadam. So your consciousness will become jad. And my consciousness will become jad on your aspect. Therefore, ekam. And fourth point is asmin napo matarishva dadhati. Hiranyagarbha is called matarishva here. So apa means different action. This is Brahman's action. This is Sannyasi's action. In the background of consciousness alone, the Hiranyagarbha or the Ishwar distributes and delegates or sustains duties of all the Jeevas and all the Devatas. So Jeev and Brahmaikya, Brahmatmaikya is there in the fourth quarter. No experience should be above me. I should be above experience. So moment I know this I can be free from the whole world. This discovery of this freedom is called moksha. This wrong I called ahankar, or which is in the garbage I, this is the result of our wrong perception. This is the result of our ignorance. Ignorance is I am inside the time and space. Ignorance is I am working. Ignorance is I am talking. Ignorance is I am sad. Ignorance is I am very happy today. I am, full stop. This I has nothing to do with whatever you are saying. Vedanta is for making us free, not making us realize I was free. I was not dreaming. I was dreaming that I was dreaming. I was not dreaming. Vedanta's effort is to take us to knowledge. Without Vedanta, your sorrows cannot be out. This is the declaration of the Upanishads. It is trying to take us, realize the right I and try to wean us from the wrong I. The whole effort is to take us to perfection. Perfection means freedom.